Hari Om students, welcome to online class. This is the fifth poem in your class, the ball poem. In this poem, this is a poem about a boy, a child who lost his ball, and he used to spend a lot of time thinking about that ball, and he used to recollect all the memories with that ball and everything. Here, the poet motivates the child how to move on into the life and how to forget the situation, past experiences, bad memories, and how we just move on into our life, how we have to come into the real life. All these things we will discuss in this poem. Before knowing about the poem, reading the poem, just look at about the poet. This poem was written by John Berryman. John Merriman is a scholar and professor as well as a poet. John Berryman is not only a poet but also a scholar and professor. He is best known for the Dream Songs, which was written on the year 1969, an intensely personal sequence of 365 poems. So he wrote sequence poem, the number 385 poems, which brought him the Pulitzer Prize and National Book Award. So Pulitzer Prize was the award in the literature category, which will get only for the writers or authors who ever prove their best in that particular field. So Pulitzer Prize, actually we have so many awards. Pulitzer Prize is one of the prestigious award from for the in the category of literature. The frankness of Berryman's work influenced his friend Robert Lowell and other confessional poets like Annie Sexton. So, uh, every person will influence some of the people that they will go in a different manner. Here also, our author John Berryman, he influenced two poets, confessional poets like Robert Lowell and Anne Sexton. Observe this picture, children. So, he is John Berryman. Let us come to know about the central idea of the poem. The ball poem looks like a simple story of a young boy losing his ball. As I said earlier, this is the story of a young boy who lost his ball. The boy is severely upset over the loss. Normally, it may seem like a great overreaction. Of course, sometimes. Why? Because if we lost ball means for sure it is not much cost. We can buy another one. Today or tomorrow we can buy another one. So we can think that why this much overreaction we can buy now, why the child used to spend lot of time thinking about the ball, why he used to be so sad about this situation. In that way we will get so many doubts. But children lose things like their toys and balls quite often. Of course, it was really often that um, when you people also in your childhood, when you are now you are matured somehow, you used to collect and used to save your things in that way. But when you are in a child, while you are playing, for sure you may lost your not only balls but some of your favorite things like footwear, like your favorite pencil, like your favorite things in your home. It was really quite common. Usually, no fuss should be made about such a small thing. So, there is no need to think about and no need to be so sad for such small thing. But the ball seems to be symbolizing the poet's childhood. Why here? The boy used to be so sad. Why here the poet mentioned in a different manner mean the ball which was lost by the boy, it symbolizes the childhood of the poet. If we lost our childhood means is it impossible to get it back? No, it is not possible. So in the same way, uh, the childhood, so that's why here the poet comparing the ball, the lost ball, to the lost childhood. The boy becoming an adult loses his childhood. He was clinging onto his childhood for so long. Now the boy becoming adult, For example, if you completed your school life, and your school journey will be very very precious for everyone. For example, my school journey was precious for me. So when you enter into next year, you'll get into your colleges. When you enter into colleges, you will think, wow, my school life was really amazing. I miss those friends, I miss my teachers, I miss the environment. In that way you used to think for a while, that's it. But at the same time you used to memorize the beautiful memories which you spend in your school. So that's why here also the boy becoming an adult, and he was thinking and thinking about his childhood. The poet accept the changes in life. Of course we have to accept the changes in life. Our life shouldn't be completely in a same manner. So many changes will happen, and we have to accustom to the changes, we have to go through the changes. That is life. Although he is still suffering, at he is learning to move on from his fleeting childhood. And he was suffering, that he was not only thinking about childhood memories, and he was suffering, no, I want to get into my adult. I have to just stop thinking about my childhood. In that way he was struggling, but he was not able to cope up with that situation. The true theme of the poem is that we should cherish every moment of life. Yes, the main real theme of the poem was we should cherish each and every moment in our life. Why? Because our life was so short, so we have to cherish each and every moment. Life is really very short. The poet realizes that it is very difficult to deal with the loss, but it must be done. Of course we may lose anything, uh, not only the thing, if a lost person also, it is common. But we have to move on. Got it? We should move on, as there is no use in wasting precious time and life. Yes, we have to move on. There is no use of wasting all the time in thinking about the past, in thinking about the past memories, but we should move on. This is the central idea of the poem. A boy loses a ball. He is very upset. A ball doesn't cost much, nor it is difficult to buy another ball. So it is not at all difficult when a boy lost one ball, means it is not at all difficult to buy another one, and it doesn't matter also. Why then is the boy so upset? Read the poem to see what the poet thinks has been lost, and what the boy has to learn from the experience of losing something. Yes, this is the main thing. We have to read the poem, that for this small issue, why the poet is to be so dull, so sad, and so upset, and how the poet make the child to learn from the experience of losing something. Just get into the poem. Yes. What is the boy now? Who has lost his ball? What? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over. There it is in the water. Yes, what is the boy now who has lost his ball? So what is the situation of boy now? The boy lost his ball now. Miss, this line represents the console of the poet on the boy. Console of the poet on the boy. So what is the boy's situation? He lost his ball. What? What is he to do? What he was going to do now? He lost his ball. So I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over. There it is in the river. So he was saying that merrily bouncing means it was moving on. When the ball with that boy, the ball is in the hands of the boy, it was merrily bouncing on the streets, and in the slightly merrily over there in the water, means in the river, he lost his ball. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down, all his gaze into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. So no use to say, oh, there are other balls. Here, oh, there are other balls means the word suggests that the loss is not important to enough worry about. Means this is the sentence which, this is the line which says there is no need to worry about this less important thing, but there is no use to say this thing. An ultimate shaking grief means sadness which greatly affects the boy. Grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid. Rigid means stiff, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. I would not intrude on him means this is the line which was said by the poet, that he was saying, I don't want to enter into the situation where one is not welcome. Intrude means here to enter a situation where one is not welcome. Here in this lines, the poet was explaining the situation of the boy, how he was after losing his ball, how he used to be shaking grief, that sadness which affects the boy fixes the boy, and he started rigid stiffly and thinking about the ball and staring down. While he was staring down, he was recollecting all the memories while he was playing with the ball in the garden, while he was playing with the ball in the school. In every places he used to recollect everything. He used to be very stiff and trembling, staring down. The boy's situation was really pathetic. He was not able to cope up with the situation. He was not able to take granted of his favorite thing, which is lost. In this situation, the poet was saying, no, I don't want to enter into this situation without welcome. In that way the poet was saying, means here in this line the poet was explaining how the boy feeling was, how he used to appear. He used to be very sad and he used to thinking deeply about his favorite thing. So this is the situation. The poet was not able to enter into the situation without welcoming. A dime, another ball, is worthless. Now he senses first responsibility in a world of possessions. People will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy. Yes, here dime means it is 10 cents, which is the currency in United States. So a dime, just we spend a dime means we will get another ball, but it is worthless. But now this is the first time the child was feeling responsibility. Why? Because this is the world of possessiveness. It is mine, my favorite books, my favorite clothes, my things, my footwear. In that way everything will be, possessiveness will be there. So in a world of possession, people will take balls. Ball will be lost always, little boy. So this is the time you have to feel responsible, the poet was saying. And also this is the first time the boy was feeling responsibility. Means the boy before in the past he didn't lose anything. So this is the first time the boy was losing his thing, his favorite thing. Dime means what, ma? 10 cents, which is the currency in United States. Yes. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. Here is learning. He is learning. Well behind his desperate eyes, the epistemology of loss. How to stand up knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. So, and no one buys a ball back. So he may buy, if you have money means you may buy a different ball, but the boy which lost it, the ball which lost it, the ball which lost by the boy, and the memories he have with that ball, he can't come back. And money is eternal, money is not matter here, the memories. And he was learning for the first time behind his desperate eyes. Desperate means hopeless, means he can't get back the ball. So in his eyes, the poet was able to clearly observe there is hopeless in his eyes. The epistemology of loss. Epistemology means understanding the nature of loss, what it means to lose something. Actually, the meaning of epistemology means, the Greek word episteme means knowledge, It comes from a word meaning to understand, to know. Epistemology is the study of the nature of knowledge itself. So here the epistemology means the child should have the knowledge of losing, means what will happen if we lost one thing, how we recollect the memories with that lost thing, and how we have to cope up with the situations, all those things. So he should have some knowledge regarding to the lost things. How to stand up knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days. How to stand up. Yes, he was saying the child should have, the little boy should have uh, epistemology of loss, some knowledge about loss. If he lost one thing, how to cope up the situation, as we discussed in previously, how to cope up with situation. So the child should have some knowledge regarding to the loss. So every man will have that particular period where he lost something, and with that lost thing, with that depression, there one person used to motivate themselves, and they used to move on into the things, move on into the life, isn't it, ma'am? So here also the poet was saying it is not at all a big issue. Just whenever we lost something, just we have to move on with the real life situation. We should not stand there in that particular situation. Many situations happen in our life, will happen in our life. So we have to go through the situation, we have to learn ourselves, we have to motivate ourselves. In that way the poet was saying, finally he was saying that the boy should have the knowledge to know about the loss. So this is about the poem. um, just look into the poetic devices which was used by the poet. So in this poem, the poet used three poetic devices. First one is alliteration. In previous class also, in previous live class also, I discussed some of the poetic devices like rhyme scheme, alliteration, anaphora, repetition, and everything. Just I'll recall with the definition. Alliteration. Alliteration is derived from Latin's latera. It means letters of alphabet. Letters of alphabet. It is a stylistic device in which a number of words having the same first consonant sound occur close together in a series. You have to remember that in one particular sentence, if the consonant sound was repeating, you have to remind the note was, you should not take granted the letter, you should not take it, you have to take only the sound of the letter. If the sound was repeating in the sentence means that is called alliteration. See example, but a better butter makes a batter better. Butter, butter, batter, better. What is the sound continuously we observe? Ba sound. What is the sound? Ba sound. Yes. So this is alliteration. And one more example. A big bully beats a baby boy. Again here also ba. Ba sound. So in poem also we can observe these poetic devices. You have to identify. Anaphora. Anaphora means in writing or speech, the deliberate repetition of the first part of the sentence in order to achieve an artistic effect is known as anaphora. For example, to give more essence, to give more emphasis to the stanza, to give more emphasis to the lines, the poet will repeat the same word in each and every line. So that is called anaphora. For example, O Lord, rebuke me not in thine anger, neither chasten me in thy hot displeasure. Have mercy upon me. O Lord, for I am weak. O Lord, heal me, for my bones are vexed. My soul is also sore vexed, but thou, O Lord, how long? So what is the word here repeated? O Lord. O Lord was repeated. The word which was repeatedly mentioned in different lines, more than two lines, which gives emphasis for the remaining poem or remaining stanzas, that is called anaphora. Next one, repetition. Repetition is a literary device that repeats the same words. Same words. Same sounds means that is alliteration. Same words means that is a repetition. phrases a few times to make an idea clearer and more memorable. There are several types of repetition commonly used in both prose and poetry. For example, if you think you can do it, you can do it. The bird said, I don't sing because I'm happy. I'm happy because I sing. So, the repetition of the same words which gives the clearer idea and more memorable for that particular sentence is called a repetition. Let us check into the poem where are the repetitions and find out where is alliteration and anaphoras. Yes, anaphora and alliteration. Observe children, the word which here repeats what, what. In every sentence it was repeating. In the continuously, if it repeats for two sentences, it is called anaphora. So what here repeats for two sentences? So it is called anaphora. So one more anaphora example you can find here. Yes, in the second, third and fourth line, observe here. Merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over, there it is in the water. Merrily and merrily. Continuously more than three lines, the same word was repeated means that comes under anaphora. So this is also comes under anaphora. Next, alliteration. Alliteration means same sound. So in this any one of the line we didn't observe any repetition sounds here, but we can observe the repetition words in one particular line. First, for example, what, what. Have you understood, children? What, what. Immediately after the very next to the same word, it comes means it is called repetition. Observe in any one of the line the repetition occurs? No. Let's get into the remaining lines. Observe first repetition. Yeah, here it is. Balls, balls will be lost always. So this is also one of the example for a repetition. So you got a clear observation of alliteration, sorry, anaphora and repetition. Now we have to find out alliteration. Alliteration means same sound in one particular line which gives the same sound. Children understand, it is not the letter, same letter, but it is the sound which was given by from the letter. Here, man must. Knowing what every man must one day know. Ma is the sound repeats here. So it is alliteration. Children, you can observe any one of the sound here. Yes, here it is. Bice, ball, back. So here, what is the sound you can observe here? Ba, ba. Got it, ma? So these are the three poetic devices which occurred in this poem: alliteration, repetition, anaphora. I hope you understood the poetic devices well. Let us summary of the poem. The poet is talking about a little boy who has lost his ball. He was playing with his ball. The ball skipped from his hand and went to the nearby water body. The poet says that this sight of the boy losing his favorite ball made him think about the boy and his reaction to this situation. Of course, he was saying that when the boy lost his ball, when the ball went nearby the water, how the feelings of the little boy, the poet used to explain. He further says that the boy was helplessly looking into the water where his ball had gone. He was sad and was trembling with fear. He got so immersed in his sorrow that he kept standing near the harbor for a very long time and kept on looking for his ball. Of course, in the very immediate lines, the poet explained the situation of the boy. He used to be stand with grief, with the trembling and looking for the ball with a helpless situation. He can't do anything. So the poet explains that. The poet says that he could console him that he may get new balls, or he could also give him some money to buy another ball. As we discussed earlier, he can also say that Just you can buy one ball or you can get a new ball. Money is not matter. But the poet can't bring the memories of the boy with that ball, of the ball with that boy, isn't it? Yes, but he stops himself from doing so because he thinks that the money may bring a new ball, but will not bring the memories and feelings attached to the lost ball. Yes or no, ma? He further says that the time has come for the boy to learn his responsibilities. Here, the poet was that now the boy will learn the toughest lesson of lesson. Yes, this is the time for learning for that small boy. The lesson of accepting the harsh reality that one day we'll lose our loved ones and our loved things. So finally, everyone is going to learn that some things we lost means we used to stick to that situation. We used to spend lot of time thinking about the ball. We used to spend lot of time recollecting all the balls and everything. But this is the time you have to learn yourself, that you have to think yourself that life is very short. Just you have to accept the reality and you have to move on. You should not stop there where you lost your loved ones, where you lost your loved things. This is the summary of the poem, The Ball Poem. Let us discuss the question and answers. Why does the poet say, I would not intrude on him? Why doesn't he offer him money to buy another ball? Because he said that I would not intrude on him. I would not enter into the situation without welcoming me. This is the chance the boy get to learn something, real truth of life. So that's why he didn't enter into that situation. He has to learn to accept the loss, and he has to give what is the loss, that may be the most important thing, or relationship, not only the thing but also the relationship. For this case, the poet was not interested to enter into the situation, so that's why he said the sentence like, I would not intrude on him. Staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. Do you think the boy has had the ball for a long time? It is linked to the memories of days when he played with it? Of course. If it is a new ball, if I buy the ball in the morning, if I lost the ball in the evening, means I don't have much attachment, I don't have any feeling if I lost the ball, isn't it? If the ball I bought past 6 months back or 3 months back, means for sure I'll have some memories, isn't it, ma? If it is a new thing, means of course you may feel that just within few days I lost this thing, in that way you'll feel. But if it is a thing which is with you for a long time, means for sure you'll have some memories, for sure you'll have some pain when you lost the thing. Yes, the boy also have the pain, means the ball used to spend lot of time with the ball, and he used to have different memories, lot of memories with that ball. Yes, the line itself describes how the ball recalls those days when he used to play with the ball. What does in the word of possession means? Possession means the full of materialistic things. The things, materialistic things in the sense, the things which bring comfort and luxury in our life. That is called materialistic things. Do you think the boy has lost anything earlier? Pick out the words that suggest the answer. No, the boy didn't lose anything because when the poet was explaining, he said that now he senses his first responsibility. Means first time he was feeling the responsibility. Means first time he lost his one of the favorite thing. So we can't say that the boy, this is the first thing which was lost by boy. They don't have he don't have any experiences earlier. What does the poet say the boy is learning from the loss of the ball? Try to explain this in your own words. Yes, what the boy was going to learn means the real truth of life, harsh reality of life. He will learn how to move on life despite of incurring heavy losses. Everyone experiences this in his or her life when they lost either something or someone. So this harsh reality that he have to learn, and he should move on, and he should cope up with the situation, and he should accept the truth. He should go move on into the life. This is the thing, this is the lesson the boy is For sure he is going to learn. I hope you also will learn that whenever you lost something, you should not stop there. You should not think most of the time in that way. You should not feel so sad. Why? Because it is one of the part in the life. Losing somebody or losing some things, it is quite common, so you should not stop there. You have to move on. Just recalling, keeping as a memories how you spent with your loved ones, or how you spent with your favorite thing. Just by keeping memories in your heart, you have to move on. You should not stop there. Last question. Have you ever lost something you liked very much? Write a paragraph describing how you felt then and saying whether and how you got over your loss. Yes, of course, this is the question for you. Of course, you may lose so many things, your favorite toys or your favorite things, your favorite clothes, your favorite footwear, whatever it is, or your favorite person also. How you felt at that time, how you motivate yourself, how you got over from that loss, everything you have to write a paragraph on your own. I hope you understood this poem. In case of any doubt, just contact us. Thank you very much. Hari Om.